Hey, how you doing, man? I'm Sergeant McCrea. Oh, no, no. I just said I'm a civilian. I'm Shane McCrea. I got out the Marine Corps 2023, February 15th. That's roughly about like a month ago. What was my MOS while I was in? Where was my MOS school at, and how was that? I was a 0161 postal clerk in the Marine Corps. So I did postal USPS, yeah, within the Marine Corps. Our MOS school is in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, the Army base where they do their boot camp and stuff like that. Um, I was in an MOS where it's like, it's about mail, pretty much. Classified mail, personal mail, official business mail, general mail, officer mail, battalion. But the job is serious because messing up mail, obviously it's a federal offense. But I feel like because it was an MOS that normally, like majority of the time, 99% of the time, people don't sign up and join postal. They have a different job, but it gets switched based on the needs of the Marine Corps. So everybody I've ever met that was postal had a different job originally. I was supposed to be like IPAC, like admin 00111, but I got switched to postal out of MCT. So think about that. You have these people that had recon contracts, aviation, all this other stuff. They end up being postal. They're upset because they wanted to be like, in their minds, a real Marine. Like they wanted to do Marine Corps stuff. They wanted to be in the field. They wanted to, XYZ. I mean, postal, we deploy. Like there's hella postal people that are deployed to Iraq. I did a MEU, you know. Um, so they try to carry that mentality into the MOS. They feel like they got something to prove. Because a lot of people don't know the battalion don't even take postal serious. Like when they have the meetings at the battalion with all like the MOSs, postal's not even there. They don't feel appreciated and important, and they put that energy on the people in MOS. They got us doing LB pack runs with our packs on. They got us, you know, preparing for like combat. I'm like, bro, we delivering mail, bro. Like, it's not that deep. So yeah, that was my MOS. Man, Hemingway is a very small city. It's like roughly a little over 500 people. Last time I checked. Growing up was a little rough, man. A single mom raising me. I didn't know my dad at the time growing up. I spent majority of my time living with my grandma. I didn't live with my mom too much because my great grandma. So my mom's mom, she's the one that really raised me. And I spent majority of my time down there. My mom lived in the projects in a small town called Kingstree. That's really where I was born. A lot of people think I was born in Himalaya, but I was born in Kingstree. And I spent like the small part of my childhood there. And then I ended up starting to live at my grandma's. I started going to the school called Verity Park. Going to that school, man, getting bullied. Man, I used to come to school like just normal day at school, minding my business, man. And, people wanted to fight me just because they're like, oh, you're soft, or you're like, So that carried on for like years, man, like years. Um, Growing up, man, I watched my mom like in and out of relationships, man. Um, you know, Trying to, figure it out, because mom had me at 16. So, she didn't finish school, so it's a little hard for her. So now I'm moving into like middle school, high school time frame, cause like where I'm from, like there's nothing to do. I played in the woods all the time. Like I was killing bugs, animals. Like I was like man versus wild before man versus wild. And I get into middle school, I want to play sports, because I've been playing basketball. We played pickup basketball all the time as a kid. And my mom was like, nah, you're not playing those sports. So I'm like, cool, So here I am, young kid. I got 7 outfits that I wear to school all year long because we're poor. We ain't had it like that. You know, Wintertime we got the kerosene heater burning. I come to school, I smell like kerosene. People clowning me. So we ended up moving to this area called Johnsonville. Ended up meeting these guys. Very good friends to this day, man. Too Shy, Josh, Savon, JT. This dude we call him Kunta. Him too, man. Man, all of them, man. It's too many to remember, man. But yeah, we was in a it was a trailer park, and we started rapping, started making music. We was on the desktop and stuff like that, trying to make music. We made some fire songs, man. At least I think so. I think they some hits. If I revisit those, I think I might post it to my page. It might get some traction. I don't know. Because at a very young age, I saw the Michael Jackson 25th anniversary, I think it was. And I was like, dang, man, like this dude can dance. Like it was just stunning. Like it's mind blowing. I'm like, I wanna dance like Mike. You know what I'm saying? So like literally after watching it, I'm outside trying to moonwalk, trying to like, do a little footwork movement. And I literally was like doing that every day in the mirror, like dancing in the mirror. I wanted to be a dancer so bad. I was dancing in the mirror every day all my life as a kid. And then we get to middle school, I want to play basketball now. I'm making music on the side with my friends. Mom tell me I can't play basketball, so I'm making music. Get to high school, I'm playing JV. My mom decided let me play JV, but like, a lot of people didn't like me. And it was weird because like I was super chill, laid back, quiet, minding my own business, but a lot of people didn't like me. I was minding my business. I wasn't getting into it with nobody, but I found myself getting into conflict with people all the time because I was an easy target. And I was poor. I wasn't the best dressed. They really like I wouldn't even say bully. Like I'm not even gonna say bully. I would just say like growing up, a lot of people I went to school with, they had no life. You know, the highlight of your day was messing with me. You know, like I still carry that trauma. Like terrified of going to school because I don't know what's gonna happen today. So not having my dad in my life growing up, man, like today, like there's a lot of things I missed out on, that I had to, learn on my own as a man, like credit, saving money, finances in general, you know, just learning how to be a man, like taking care of a house, how to be in a marriage, just because, my dad was married before, how to, properly communicate, how to conduct myself out in public, where should my mindset be, right now while I'm in high school heading into my adulthood. You know, I had to figure out a lot of that on my own, and it was rough. Financially, that support, because my mom was struggling, trying to keep up the bills. So I felt like, that put a lot of trauma on me because, like, my mom had to teach me how to be a man, teach me how to drive, you know, job interview, it was just that. I felt like that not having that father figure set me back. I found myself as an adult, in my early 20s, trying to make up for all the information that I didn't receive. And now, at this point, I understand a lot of things, but there's still things I understand, like changing a tire, like I know how to change a tire now, but it's like, you know, that's very important. A lot of people don't understand that until they get in a position where they're on the side of the road and now they're calling somebody when me as a man, if my dad was in my life, he would have taught me that. So now me as a man, I'm in a marriage and we get a flat. She looking at me, I'm looking at my phone calling roadside assistance when the spare is in the trunk. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, it was just it just really set me back. And I don't use that as an excuse for anything because I'm in control of my own life. So I gotta, get the information and understand things the way I need to and just get it done. I can't dwell on my dad wasn't in my life for 17 years. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, and like this is a strong word. I hated my dad. I did every day for 17 years. I thought about how mad I was because my dad decided to, just leave. Never even seen him in the flesh. You know, I hated him. I didn't care if, be honest, I didn't care if he died when I was a kid. I was just like, yo, like this dude literally like got my mom's pregnant, and look at my life. Look, I'm struggling. I'm going through all these things, and I blame my dad for everything I was going through in life. Everything. Every time something went wrong, I was like, it's because of my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was here, this wouldn't be happening. You know, I blamed him for everything. I hated him. You know, when I turned 17, going into the story of me growing up, I moved with my dad because I wanted to get to know him. I'm like, you know, this is an opportunity. My senior year in high school, it's the summer going into senior year. I'm 17, about to turn 18 in September. Get to live with my dad. I'm like, okay, give him a chance, try to understand what happened. And even when he explained to me, like, why things played out the way they did, I forgave him because, I only got one dad, I love my dad. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate him. I was just me, young, just going through it, but to this day, like I forgave him for a lot of things, but I am still very much disappointed in my dad to this day. I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club a lot. Um, by the way, the Boys and Girls Club, man, is like one of the greatest things ever created for people in like rough cities, low income towns. People in the struggle. It's a good thing, cause I went to the Boys and Girls Club every day after school, man. And there was the director there. His name was Andre Dorsey. Man, this dude was like a father figure for me, man. Like this dude taught me how to use a lawnmower. This dude taught me how to fix stuff. This dude got me a pair of shoes because he saw I was wearing bummy shoes playing basketball at the Boys and Girls Club. He bought me some New Balance. You know, like he would sit me down and talk, not just me, but the males in general. We were young, like teenagers, and he would sit us down and talk about women, talk about sex, protection, things women would do to get the upper hand on you. Like he was like our like little Andrew Tate back in the day, just to sum it up. But he definitely like mentored me like throughout my like preteen years up to like graduating. Yeah, he was that role, that father figure role in my life, man, and I greatly appreciate him for that, man, to this day. How I became a Marine is crazy, man. So I wanted to go to school for dance because dance was my passion. I was doing it since I was 9 years old. I love dance. Like if people take the proper time to do research, they'll find my dance videos. But I was a really good dancer, man. Like I think I'm still a pretty decent dancer, but I was really good, man. I wanted to go to school for it. I wanted to be a backup dancer for Chris Brown, Usher. That was my goals. Told my dad that. My dad told me, he was like, being a famous dancer, that's not a real thing. He said, you need to do something like career wise, like something in IT, or, something that's going to be around for a long time. You should join the military. That's what he said too. And I was like, cool, nah, I ain't joining no goddamn military. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I was a little rebellious. Me and my dad really bumped heads about that. He wanted me to join the military so bad. And then I was in at school one day, and the Marine recruiter was there, and I'm walking, right? And he's like, hey, like, come talk to me and this and that. And I'm like, nah. And he's like, hey, why you got that trash on? So I was in ROTC when I was in South Carolina, because when I moved, my dad was in North Carolina, in Gastonia, North Carolina, outside of Charlotte. So he's like, why you got that trash on? I had an Army sweatshirt on. And I looked down and I'm like, man, what you talking about, man? And he's like, yeah, go ahead and walk away. You too soft to do this anyway. I got pride. I turn around, what? You don't think I could do this? I could easily be a Marine. Yeah, all right. So I go in the cafeteria, I'm eating with my friends. They're like, we saw you talking to the Marine recruiter. Like, bro, the Marines is crazy. Like, like, bro, you wouldn't be able to do that. So now I'm like, what? Y'all don't think I could do this? Bet, sign me up, you know? Fell for it. And then now I'm like, like backing out on the idea. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. As I'm getting close to graduation, and me and my dad still bumping heads. A couple of days before I graduated high school, man, kicked out the house. I was homeless at 18 years old. I was working at Cookout at the time. Um, Homeless, living in a motel. I was a manager at Cookout on Hudson Boulevard. And I remember like I had my great friend to this day, man, Newbie. Uh, he gave me a car to use, to be able to get to and from work. And then, I ended up getting into an accident. Somebody rear-ended me, you know, and like I ended up like split my lip open, whatever. But yeah, it's kind of how that played out. And I was going through it, man. I'm like imagine all that going on. You're stressing, going through depression. I'm in a motel. It's hot. It's a rundown motel, but I'm paying 275 every Monday for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I fell into a deep depression for the first time, and I was like, I got to do something. So I called a recruiter. Hey, man, I'm still trying to go. He's like, all right, got you. And I left September 8th, 2015, to the United States Marine Corps. Graduated December 14th, 2015. 3rd Battalion Mike, 3088. I went to Iwakuni for my first duty station. That was my choice. I wanted to get away, man. I was trying to run away from my problems. And I went through so much struggle growing up, so much trauma. I just wanted to get away. Just wanted a fresh start. So when we had to choose, I was like, I want to go overseas. I want to go far as possible. I don't care. And I went to Japan. Iwakuni. I'm gonna tell you this, right? I'm gonna tell you a crazy story. Quick story. So I'm on the way to Japan, right? We got our orders. We're headed to our duty stations. Me and a female, we're traveling together. We got orders together. Her name, Wiegand, good friend of mine. So me and her, we don't know nothing about nothing. We on this flight, about 13 hours of flying. We get to Tokyo, right? Man, we trying to figure out our itinerary says like we need to be at this airport, right? On itinerary it has like this airport we're supposed to be at. But the airport we landed in is totally different. You already know what I'm talking about. So we don't know. I guarantee you this has happened to so many people. Yes. We're trying to contact the command. Nobody's responding. The corporal at the time ain't responding. We messaging them like, yo, we don't know what to do. We asking Japanese people, hey, how do you get here? So sorry, no English. I'm like, you just spoke English. Man, we got lost in Tokyo. We had to spend the night there in Tokyo, end up getting in contact with the command. They guided us where we need to go, and we ended up getting that right there in that moment. I was like, this is about to be a crazy experience. I ain't even get to make it in, and it got wicked quick. Did I learn any Japanese? Um, a little bit. You had to know a little bit of Japanese in order to get around, cause like you know how Iwakuni is like right outside the gate, the English stops. The moment you leave that base, the English stops. So if you don't know a little bit of Japanese, you have a hard time. But it's not hard, learning the basic stuff. But Japanese language as itself, it's pretty hard. People that I looked up to while I was in Iwakuni, the Gregs. They're gunnies now, but at the time they were Staff Sergeant Greg and Staff Sergeant Greg. They've been my military parents, man. I've looked up to them for 8 strong years, man, that I did in the Marine Corps. They took care of me. I was just talking to them today, actually, both of them on FaceTime. They're like, I love them to death, man. That I looked up to them not only there, but my entire career. How was my time at San Diego? Man, roller coaster. Like But initially upon arrival, it was good. I had great leadership when I originally arrived there. Had a great staff sergeant, great sergeant, great corporal, just leading me along the way. They told me when I originally got there, after Japan, because like, you know, to dial back a little bit, I ended up leaving early because of my experience in Japan, you know? Like I was in Japan, man, like I was going through it. Like we coming to work, stressing, like trying to figure out what is what, like they they had the staff NCOs looking at our social media on the weekends to see what we were doing and reporting back to the mass sergeant and the warrant officer. Like we was living like we was like inmates, we getting out of work 2000, 2100. Everybody already went out to the club. It's Friday. I'm seeing people leaving taxis. I'm just getting out of work. I just want to go to sleep. Depression kicking in. I'm away from family. My mom got a lot of stuff going on. And, you putting in leave, they denying your leave. That stuff was really getting to me, man. They was doing some really fucked up shit. Like, you had a master who's going through fucking a divorce, who's taking that energy out on the Marines, especially the females. You got a one officer who his marriage is falling apart because his wife keeps cheating on him with Marines. So now he's taking that anger out on us. But he think nobody know. We knew. We knew your wife was sleeping with Marines, man. Yeah, it was like Japan was so garbage because everybody out there is like trying to be something they're not. They want to be gangster. They want to be a thug. They want to be this big bad Marine. They want to be super motivated. When previous duty stations they've been to, they never cared. You know, it's cool to make change and better yourself, but not at the cost of someone's mental. Like everybody in Japan was going through it, man, not just me. But I just had my own experience. Everybody's experience is different. And it was getting to me really bad, man. Like, I had two 6105s 2 months apart. The first 6105 I got was dancing on the table in McDonald's, because I love to dance. And I didn't mean no harm by it, but they're like, Sergeant Major, right? And this Sergeant Major, right, pissed me off. He's like, oh, I'm going to take your rank. Mind you, he's sleeping with the Dream Marine that hangs out with me. I know that, but I'm like, you looking me dead in my face right now telling me you're going to take my rank? You don't even know what I know. But me being who I was, you got it. Because I know you're going to take my rank. I'm going to fight this. And I kept my rank. And I got 6105. Second time I got 6105, one of my friends got underage drinking. I wasn't even with him when he got caught. They got photos. NCIS was following them. No photos of me. He's like, you just as guilty. You hang with them. 6105, boom. You know what my 6105 said? Providing alcohol to a minor. But when he got caught underage drinking, I was out in town. He got caught at the barracks. You see how they just do what they want. Like they can, anything they want to stick to you, they can. In the military, you're guilty until proven innocent. Hands down. The moment you get in a situation, you have to find out how can you prove to these people you didn't do this, because they're going to charge you for it regardless. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about you as a person. They don't care about your family, what you got going on. They're going to take your rank and they're going to take your pay when already we don't even make a lot of fucking money. They're going to take your pay and your rank, and now they're going to hurt you and your family because they don't know you like that, because they don't connect with you as their Dream Marine or someone they work with. They don't know you probably supporting your family. But they're going to stick something to you that's not even valid, that they don't even have no proof to hold to that. But they're going to stick that to you and fuck everything up. But they wonder why retention's so hard. That was my experience in Japan, And it got so bad, I was so overwhelmed, man. I was so overwhelmed with emotion because I come to work every day. I feel like I can't breathe. I feel like every time I come into work, it's something. The first day I checked in, I got a negative counseling for pollen in my core frames because my corporal was like, I told you to clean your core frames before you came into work this morning. I did. Why are they dirty? We're in the middle of pollen season. What do you want from me? You know, but I'm just like, good to go. Sign the counseling. Cool. You know, it is what it is. I get a shape kit because my face breaking out. They tell me I'm a shitbag. I can't work with customers. I gotta stay in the back. My corporal telling me I'm a shitbag, right? Same corporal saw him years later as a staff sergeant. He got a shape kit. Crazy. It got overwhelming, man. And I was like in a point of my life, man, when shit was falling apart mentally. I had already been through a lot. You know, I joined the military to get away from something. That's, I guarantee you, that's everybody's story. I joined the military to get away from something. A lot of people join to get away from a bad environment. Some people came from a good environment, but they want to get away from that because they want to survive on their own. Everybody's trying to get away from something. So when you come in the military and you get hit with all that crazy shit, you immediately want to get out. Year one, man, I'm getting out. I'm getting out. Because you like, I can do bad all by myself. You know, like at least I had some say so over my life when I was going through it. Here, I don't got no say so. Y'all control my life. Went out to the club. I'm trying to like get my mind off of things. I don't even want to dance. I don't want to do nothing. We leave the club. We go to the smoke pit. I'm like, nah, I ain't feeling it tonight. You know, I just want to go home, go to sleep. I didn't even know what was wrong with me. I didn't know why I was feeling that way. My homeboy, he's like, "You good? Are you sure? Like this ain't like you." Yeah, good. Go to my room, lay down, go to sleep. In that moment, I started having this weird experience that I'll never forget. It was like being outside of my body, watching myself. I see myself wake up. I'm like, "What's going on?" But I'm crying, so I'm confused. What's happening? Pick up the phone, call my mom. I'm telling her I'm sorry. I'm apologizing. I don't even know what I'm apologizing for. Neither does my mom. She's like, "What's wrong? Like, stop crying. Like, talk to me." You know, she's getting worried because I'm 13 hours away and across the world, bawling my eyes out, apologizing to her, and she don't know what for because it was what I had planned to do. I hung up the phone. I took the laces out of my Jordans and I tied them around my neck. I really did not want to feel what I was feeling. It was like there was a voice in my head that just told me like, you don't have to keep going through this. You don't have to keep feeling what you're feeling. If you wasn't here right now, none of this wouldn't matter. That's what I thought. And I believed it. It made so much sense. Because I was in the darkest place in my life. I'd never been in a place like that in my life mentally. I went with it because I just wanted some kind of, I just wanted some kind of relief, you know? Like, before that experience, like I always said, like, you know, I never understood why people attempted suicide or, you know, a lot of people claimed it as being weak. It's not. You're just overwhelmed. You don't want to feel that no more. I woke up, my lights are on in my room. The SDO is standing over me, PMO is in the room, medical's in the room. My roommate is standing right there. Crazy part about it all, everybody in that room I knew as a friend. So just as shocked as I was to see them, they were shocked to see that it was me they responded to. Because I was always the happy guy, making everybody laugh, entertaining people, giving people advice, uplifting people, boosting morale. You know, deep down inside, I was dying. I was falling apart. I I I lost myself. It was no longer me. After that, I was sent to a psychiatric hospital. Sat in there for a week in Okinawa. That's how I ended up over there. And I remember like my mentor, at the time she was Staff Sergeant Greg, her and her husband came, you know, I'm getting medevaced, you know. He drives up, he's like, "Hey, sign this paper real quick to make me a power of attorney so I can pack up your stuff, get it shipped over to where you're going. These are people who genuinely care about me. His wife, she comes and, you know, with her MOS, she worked on the flight line. She comes up to me to give me a hug. I'm in the same jacket when she comes up to me, the same jacket from 2017, 6 years ago. She walks up to me and hugs me, bawling her eyes out. We take a photo together because she don't know if she's gonna see me again. Go to the psychiatric hospital. I fly to Okinawa. I'm in there. It's just me and my thoughts. I'm in this room. I can't talk to nobody. Got no cell phone. I don't know what's going on in the outside world. I don't even know what outside feels like. There's no windows. I don't know what's going on. It's just the world has stopped in my mind. Then I finally get released. I get orders to San Diego, and that's how I ended up in San Diego. And I told myself as I was sitting in that psychiatric hospital trying to hold it together, I was really going through it. And I'm like, I need to get it together. One thing I told myself in that very moment where I'm sitting in that room, if you don't get it together right now, if you don't hold it together, if you don't ground yourself, you know, they're going to win. They're going to separate you like they wanted to. They're going to kick you out like they wanted to. They're going to say that you failed to adapt. That's what they're going to say. So in that moment, I couldn't let them win. In that very exact moment, I just stepped back and I locked in. I talked to the psychiatric doc like normal. We was talking like best friends. After a week, they was like, we don't even know why you're here. You're fine, man. I had to convince them that because I had to get out of it. I had to finish my career because I couldn't let them win. So I left there still going through it because I didn't want them to win. I got orders to San Diego and I got there. It was better for the most part, Career started progressing. They told me, and that's why I told that story, is because they told me everything that happened before I got there, don't worry about it. Just forget about it. It's a fresh start. And I appreciated that. That meant a lot. I was like, it's finally getting better. Working hard. Got promoted to corporal. Got my black belt as a lance corporal. It was on the up end. Staff sergeant goes recruiting. Sergeant gets orders. Get a new staff sergeant, right? But we're pretty cool. We vibing. Go to the club together. Talk about sports every day at work. Cool. It's only 4 of us that work in there in San Diego on the depot. Female checks in, corporal type. The whole atmosphere starts to change slowly. The corporal I had at the time, he was still there. He got promoted to sergeant. Now, him and that female, they're getting into it every day. Back and forth, arguing about everything. But the staff sergeant ain't doing nothing about it. Confused. Female gets promoted to sergeant. That staff sergeant and that sergeant, tight now. They X that other sergeant out. Start treating him like he's like us, corporals. Me and the other corporal. Literally, like, he left his stuff in the shower room at work, threw it in the trash. He requested masks. It was a whole big ordeal. Got him orders out of there, right? Because he requested masks and all that stuff. Got him orders. He was gone. Who's next? This guy. Now she comes to us, and this how I knew it was going to be bad because right before she got promoted sergeant, she told us, hey, I know we're all cool and stuff. When I get promoted sergeant, you guys need to address me as sergeant. It's I sergeant, yes sergeant, no sergeant. Okay. I'm like, we never disrespect you like in general. Like we don't rock like that here. We're like a family. She gets promoted to sergeant. Cool. We talking to her, stuff like that. I'm like, hey yo, like, hey, we playing cards. I'm like, hey yo, like, it's your go. You mean sergeant? I was like, you got it. Started getting spicy. She started going on this huge power trip because that's what she wanted was the power. That rank of sergeant. That's what she wanted. Going on this huge power trip, telling me I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I need to be better at this. How I need to perform better. But it's the same chick that's having sex with somebody in the S3 so they can run her PFT and CFT for her. Same chick that's having sex with somebody who can run her swim call in the system. Same chick that's having somebody run their rifle score so she can have expert all the time. Her and the stats aren't, right? Because once she told the stats aren't what she was able to do, that's how she befriended him. Because he was like, oh, I need them hookups too. Now I'm both of them getting hooked up together. And they coming to me like, hey, you need to run a higher PFT. You need to do better. You need to learn how to swim. I'm like, what? Y'all are literally finessing the system. It's cool. Because I'm better than that. I'll run my 300 CFT. It's cool. Ran my CFT. It's cool. Fast forward, we get into COVID, right? We had to work a lot, all this other shit. I see that I'm about to pick up sergeant. I'm like, yeah. I told her straight up. I said, when I pick up sergeant, ain't nothing else you can tell me. She looked at me like, non-rect me for like a leadership and maturity. Hear me out, right? There was no junior Marines under me. I was the lowest rank. Who am I leading? But yet, they love to say you're a direct reflection of your leadership, but they pick and choose when they want to use that shit. If I have bad leadership, what does that say about you? As my corporal, the very next in my chain of command. What are you doing wrong? But the command, they sign off on that shit. Non-rec. No proof of anything. I hate when they pick and choose on when they want to use shit. You gonna non-rec me? All right, bet. Quest mass, man. Fuck that. They look at my record jacket, 3 negative counselors, right? But what I told the officer before was I have no negative paperwork since I've been here. I said if I do, it's some counselors, they backdated and created on their own. Because my signature won't be on there. All 3 of those counselors in there didn't have my signature. They say S&M wasn't available to sign. Right? I said, so you see this counselor where they said I wasn't available to sign? This is when we was quarantined because my staff sergeant had COVID and the sergeant had COVID. So how was both of them able to sign when we was all quarantined in our own houses? How was both of them able to sign on this day? Crazy, right? But I wasn't able to sign. So they threw the non-rec out, right? After that first month went by, because I had got selected, threw the non-rec out. Going into it, now me and the other corporal who just got there, we about to get promoted to sergeant together. They're trying to non-rec me again. Mind you, I took a whole month to leave. I was there the first day of the month of June. The rest of the month, I took leave. They said on that one day that I was there, they're going to non-rec me for something I did that day. He messed up something at work, non-reckoning. He don't have M1 proficiency. I request mass again. The CO, the colonel, looks me dead in my face. You should just take the non-rec. He said, non-recs are not always bad. Sir, sign one with me and I'm with it. Sign one with me. Saying you'll never get promoted for another 6 months. Sign one with me. See how bad that affects. Like, you say it's not that bad, right? Goofy as fuck. Like, so I text the corporal who's supposed to get promoted with me, like, yo, like, he told me how they took away my permissions at work because I was wondering why I couldn't do my job on the computer. They took away my permissions because they say, oh, he a snitch. We don't fuck with snitches. Right? They talking all this shit about me. So that's why I'm calling me a bitch in front of other Marines, right? He comes and tells me, right? He's like, hey, this is not happening. Text him. I'm like, yo, could you come in here and be a witness and speak on this? He's like, I can't. Why? Because they're threatening to weigh me in. He was 30 pounds overweight. So they threatened him. If you go speak on his behalf, we're going to weigh your ass in and put you on BCP. You won't get promoted either. You know what he did? He buckled. That pissed me off so bad. He allowed them to non-rec me. Got non-rec again. And after that, the score closed out for 7 fucking months. I was on the pistol range. That female was this Marine she was tight with, that she was having sex with on the slide while she was married. I'm on the pistol course. I'm talking to my friends about how they treat me at work. She had him record me and send it to them. My whole conversation I'm having with my friends. I get to work, they pressing me about it. Anything you want to tell us? You want to tell us how you really feel? Like, what do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, he looked at the sergeant. You still got that video? And he said, I started to charge you for social media violation when you shared that post about sergeants. Because she said she felt offended. Hear me out. She offended by something I posted that was a general comedy post, funny military meme about sergeants. She don't even follow me on Facebook. We don't have each other on Facebook. You do, Staff Sergeant. So you screenshotted this and sent it to her, ultimately making her feel like it was for her. You did that. But that shows you, which I'm gonna get to on how they were fucking. So now we move forward. I get a junior Marine. They can't bother me no more. Staff Sergeant got a 6105. He'll never get promoted again. Terminal staff. He was already gonna be a terminal. He's trash as fuck. So get a junior Marine, right? Trying to help her learn the job, XYZ. They don't want me involved with her. No, Sergeant's like, I'll teach her the job. Don't worry about it. I got her. You're good. All right, cool. Keeping me away from her. But once they see she automatically like gravitates to me and starts looking to me for advice, now they disown her. Start treating her like shit. They can't do it to me no more because now we have eyes on me and them with our situation. The corporal who got promoted sergeant, who was who still is 30 pounds overweight at the time, now he's acting just like them. When they was treating him the same way when he was a corporal with me. Now he talking to me crazy. He talking to me, hey, Corporal McCrea. I'm like, well, who is you talking to? You are 30 pounds overweight. Cool, bro. You got it. They start treating her like shit, making her stressed out every day, poking her, pushing buttons. She doing something, she don't even know the job. She mess up something. How'd you fuck this up? We told you this and this and that. She's like, I don't know. I don't know. She go to some, what are you doing? Put that over there. She spazzes. Leave me the fuck alone. They're like, oh, we're going to see First Sergeant. Take her to First Sergeant. Oh, she said this, she disrespectful, da 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 da. Y'all was poking at her this whole time. Y'all so fucking weird, man. These are the people that get put in positions of leadership and they wonder why things that I'm about to explain that happens. Because I explained my story from when I was in Japan. Now we're here, right? She about to get NJP. I go speak on her behalf. Because I'm like, there's no way. She's like, she wants me to speak on her behalf. So I'm like, I'm going to do it. They telling her, no, you shouldn't have McCrea speak on your behalf. It should be somebody that really knows you. She's like, I hear that, but I want him to. You know? And I reach out to my boy who's in the drill field at the time, same MOS, who's like, you know, he's hearing the back end of all of this. And, you know, she was reaching out to him too for advice. So he gives me advice on how to go in there and like properly present myself and, you know, be a character witness for her. Go in there, be a character witness for her, speak on her behalf. I speak very intellectual and I get my point across to the T. She kept her rank. She kept her pay. She only had like 14 days of restriction. Still made it to the ball. We came back into work after the NJP ceremony. I walk in with the sergeant, the other sergeant. He's like, "What happened?" She was like, "She kept her rank." He was like, "What? How?" I'm like, "Bro, y'all are so miserable. Y'all just can't stop." So now I'm finally getting orders out of there because they're like, "Yeah, we got to get McCrea out of there." The MOS is like, "We got to get McCrea out of there." I'm getting ready to leave to go to Japan, but back to Iwakuni. Got orders there. The score keeps closing out still because I told you it closed out for a total of 7 months, but at the time it kept closing out. So they had to switch my orders till June. That's how I ended up coming to June, because I ain't never in my wildest dreams was like, I want to go to Jacksonville, North Carolina. I'll go on PCS leave. The gym marine, she calls me. She's like, "Corporal, they're still messing with me." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "I was hanging out with my friends and here's the thing, that female sergeant, she befriended that Dream Marine's friends so she can know everything this chick was doing on the weekends." Weird. People have no life. Same chick that ended up marrying her Dream Marine that she had in Japan. Her Dream Marine that she had in Japan, PCS to Cali, after she got there and she married her. Weird. So she's like, "They're still messing with me. They're saying like I was out with my friends and we're not supposed to be hanging out with people during COVID. But I'm alone and I want to hang with my friends and because she wanted to hang with her friends because one of her friends is one of the Marines that died in the training exercise in Pendleton. So in her mind, I need to spend as much time with my friends because we all just came out of MOS school and we just lost one. So I want to be close to my friend as possible. I understand the COVID thing, but one of my friends, we just came from MOS school, just died in a training exercise. I need to be around my friends." She finds out because she's best friends with her friends. She's hanging out in the barracks with the Dream Marines. Now they want to NJP her for COVID violation. She's like, "They're trying to NJP me XYZ." And I tell her, right, because I'm giving advice and I always give people like straightforward advice. I'm like, this is what I had to tell myself. And I felt like people was coming after me and I feel like I was being targeted. A lot of times we have to step back and evaluate ourselves before we point the finger at people. Because a lot of times we're giving people ammunition when they want to come for us. And if you give them no ammunition, they don't have nothing to shoot you with. You know, they're going to have to go to great lengths to try to get you for something. And if they do, you can always stand on your own 2 feet because you did everything you're supposed to. And she was like, "Corporal, thank you. I appreciate that advice." I was like, "Good. I'll talk." You know, she's like, "All right, Corporal, I'll talk to you later." She said she would talk to me later, man. Got a call that night. She took her life. That made me so fucking mad. That made me so fucking mad. Because this shit went unjust, man. Like, nothing happened to these people. These people, that's a life. Somebody had to answer to that. They swept that shit under the rug. That shit has me so furious to this day. I don't, they, she is no longer here. Her mom lost her daughter. Her mom reached out to the command to get in touch with me. Because obviously her daughter was talking to her about me because I was her mentor, helping her in PT, helping her learn a job. Her mom was like, I'm looking for Corporal McCrea. They're like, "Why?" They don't want her mom to talk to me. They're like, "We'll deliver a message." CO calls me. Her mom just wanted you to know. No, her mom wanted to talk to me. Fuck is y'all on? Her mom wanted you to know that she appreciated everything you did for her daughter. Her daughter always talked about how you was always there for her. I said, "Thank you." Hung up the phone. There's so much shit that just go unjust, man. In that moment when that went unjust, when I did an IG complaint and they said my evidence was insufficient, I said I'm getting the fuck out the Marine Corps because this shit ain't safe. The very system that was put in place to protect people like that from people like them failed her, failed me. I literally watched someone go through the very same thing that I went through a previous duty station. She didn't wake up like I did. She will never wake up again. You don't know how much it hurts me to do the videos I do and think to myself, like, dang, bro, like, she would be so proud of me. She'd be calling me like, Sergeant, that video is so funny. Like, I like it. Like, da 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 da. Like, one thing she told me, she gave me some advice one time. She said, people can always put up with assault, but the one thing they can never hide or shy away from is their true character. It'll always come out, no matter what. You just have to give them time. She told me that one day, and I was like, damn, so true, so true. And I love Kelly, and I came to the gym with all of that on my heart to this day. The command that I had on the gym was amazing, man. Top to bottom, top to bottom, amazing. Great leaders, great leaders. But I'm still disappointed in every single one of them. And I'll tell you why. People, when I got to that duty station in the June, and I started talking to them about my experiences, right? All these people, officers, senior enlisted, they're telling me about these individuals that I encounter at my both duty stations, on how they know that they're like that. Then why the fuck are they still in? Like, you are part of the problem. You know somebody is like that. People are fucking dying, taking their own lives. People are losing sons, daughters, cousins, nephews, uncles, fathers, mothers, and you do nothing about it. You just let them stay in. But yet people who truly care about their fucking career, or Marines that they don't take the time to get to know, not knowing this Marine is going through something personally, that's why he's acting out. His mom just got fucking put out of her house. She's homeless. So he's stressed out. And the last thing he wants to hear when he coming to work is why he didn't get a haircut. Because he was on the phone all weekend trying to help his mom get a place to live. But you didn't ask that. You didn't ask how come you didn't get a haircut? You immediately give him negative paperwork. Now he's like, fuck you. But you don't care about me as a person. I'm just a number to you. Sit. They don't care. They're part of the fucking problem. Everybody is. They try to make tattoos a thing. Oh, now we won't kick you out no more for having a beard because you get ingrown hairs as a Black Marine. That'll make more of them stay in. Hey, you know what? You want to stay in California your whole career, even though people have been finessing the system, senior enlisted, to never go anywhere else, but we make all junior enlisted get stationed in worse places. Now we'll make that available for junior Marines, but we'll say it's for everybody now. That'll make people stay in. That'll make people want to join. That'll help retention. Fuck no, it's not. Until you get to the root of the problem, and that's the people you've been letting slide the fuck by while you hold the wrong people accountable every single day. We preach accountability, but we want to hold everybody accountable but ourselves. You know what will really open the eyes to the military? For E6 and above, when it was time for them to get promoted, there was a category within their promotion that every single person subordinate under them got to write a comment and rate them as a leader. And that played 50% into whether or not they got promoted. The other 50% was everything they accomplished. But you can be good at your fucking job and be a horrible fucking leader. It's 50 and 50. That would change the dynamic. But they're so caught up in the wrong fucking thing and they want to address the real issue. They're dancing around it. Junior Marine do something, get in trouble, he's out the military. Staff NCO sleep with a Junior Marine, we just give him orders. Go somewhere else, man. Sergeant Major, sleep with Junior Marines. Sergeant Major, all right, keep your retirement, just get out. Crazy. I'd see this, man. I leave y'all with this quote. Adversity has made some of the greatest success stories we have ever known. So are you gonna be an author or a reader?